I have no interest in people working 15 hours a day unless they're like me, which is, it is their favorite thing to do in the world. For me, it is my hobby. My profession is my hobby. And if that's not you, then you should only work 7 hours a day. When I don't do things I like, I want to do them for 1 minute a day. And if you don't like your job, you shouldn't work 10 hours a day. That sounds fucking miserable. That's why I got D's and F's. That's why I don't like going to the gym. That's why I don't hang pictures on the wall, because I don't like handyman shit.
Yeah.
Other people can't wait for tomorrow, it's a Friday as we're recording this, to do work around the house. They enjoy it. It's their therapy. It's their ASMR. Fuck that shit. I would rather rip my arm off than fucking paint a fucking wall.
Yeah.
Everyone's different.
You know what's heavily underrated too? It's, as you're talking about, you don't want to do these things. It's, if you're an entrepreneur, designing the organization around your strengths.
Oh, that's the only way I've built all my companies.
Yeah.
The first thing I do every time I build a company is surround people with strengths in the things that I don't like to do that are most important.
Mm-hmm. We
hired a head of legal, Mark Yudkin, who's now my COO, is my fucking brother. We hired him way too early. We couldn't afford him. I went for it. I was like, fuck it, we're gonna need this, and I'm not reading a fucking contract. Are you out of your fucking mind?
Right. Yeah.
You know, so
I'm with you.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, you said this on a podcast years ago. I think someone asked you just straight up, how much money do you make, Gary?
Yes.
And then at the time it was like $5 million or whatever. Like how much, like, and I think I'm not even going to ask you that question. This ties in with the question that you had with My First Million. So they asked you this. Your pod's not live yet with them, but what's the difference between billionaires versus millionaires?
You know, look, I think there's a lot of differences. I think the one that most stands out for me, or one of the things that most stands out for me, is there's a lot. And it's funny, I'm trying to recall what I said to those guys, and it's not popping up.
You want a hint?
No, I actually don't, because I think it'll be more interesting for you, let alone everybody else. To me, it's their obsession with losing. You know, how much do they love the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how purebred are they? Like, I think billionaires tend to like it way over the things that come along with it. Mm-hmm. Their tolerance for losing, right? Their self-awareness, you know, putting yourself in a position to succeed, you know, and there's serendipity. There's, you know, do you recognize where the economics are? I think there's tons of people who are millionaires that could have had the potential to be billionaires if they just picked a different genre to put their energy against, a better business model, right?
Yep.
I think about that a lot. I know I didn't go into that with them.
Yep.
Like I think about that a lot. Yep. Those things stand out.
Makes sense. Yeah, what you had said was the willingness to walk backwards.
Yeah, to go to zero. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that goes back to the love of the game. Yep. I defined it more for them. I think that I'm on that path, and I think whether I get there or not is I could give a fuck. Yeah. Because by the time when I get there, it's not gonna be as cool anymore anyway. Mm-hmm. Like, it's starting to get to a place where like people are like, well, that's common. Yeah. And plus, you know this, so many people claim it that aren't it. Yeah. I'm willing to go to zero. Yeah. And I do think that there is some realities to that. Mm-hmm. I think the risks that are required for the bets that turn out to be those things are sometimes and oftentimes grounded in a Bezos or an Elon or an Oprah willing to take a risk that would have taken him all the way back or zero. And I want the kids to hear this. It doesn't mean like they were like really gonna go to zero, but it was like gonna mean that they weren't gonna make any money for 5 years. Right. Right? Right. Like, I'm definitely in that place. I'm willing to go there. Not put myself out of business, right, but fuck myself up for a good 7 years because I'm not worried about the judgment.
You only need your safety net. What's the safety net?
$1 million in cash.
That sounds kind of low.
Well, listen, for people that are very fortunate that have crushed it, for every normal person, you're like, that's an insane amount of money. And I think my normal person DNA is so much greater than my entrepreneur that crushed it DNA that I'm just very aware that $1 million in cash, a lot of people won't earn that because don't forget, you got to pay taxes. So like I just feel like if I lost everything and had $1 million, and again, we're not playing some weird fantasy game, I'd still be me. I would have just learned whatever the fuck I did to lose it all, which would have been a big learning experience. Right. And I'd still be me. I could turn $1 million into $20 million just flipping shit on eBay.
That's funny. What would you flip on eBay?
I mean, the reality is it goes back to listening. I would go to eBay and take a look at trends. I mean, me and my brother AJ were buying video games and vintage rock t-shirts to flip on eBay in 1999.
Oh, those video games.
Think about how right we ended up. Like, and that only happened because you could see the data starting to emerge. I'm not sure if marbles are popping off, or scarves, or magnets, or cocoa melon early collectibles. I don't know what's popping on eBay like that, but I promise you, if I was back to zero and I had $1 million, no question, buying and selling shit would be the first thing I'd go to. Because for me and my skill set, 1 to 5 million would come fastest as buying something and selling it for more.
Got it. I want to talk about VeeFriends, but before we get to that, I remember there was a clip of you talking to another, I'll just call him an influencer. I'm not even going to name names, but this guy was asking, you guys were collaborating. He's like, who works harder, you or me?
Works harder?
Yeah.
And I said me.
You said, there's just no way I work harder. And it's like 18 hours a day, right? Do you think it takes 15 to 18 hours a day, or is it just more so because you enjoy it?
More so than enjoy it. I think there's, on the record, so as cool as that little like peacocking flex is, like, let there be no confusion. There are tons of people that work 8 hours a day who make more money than me and are happier than me. I'm really fucking happy, but and I mean like really fucking happy, but I'm not delusional enough to not think that there's people who are equally, if not more happy and work 8 hours a day, and that's awesome. And by the way, I envy that zero. No, I don't think working harder is like some sort of cool flex. I think it was misunderstood by society. Working harder when you fucking love the shit out of it. I love when everyone tried to pin me 7 years ago of like, you're the hustle porn guy. I remember that article that was written. And I was like, this is so fucked up. This is so not taking the words out of my mouth, and you're completely taking me out of context. Literally my first book was Crush It, How to Cash In on Your Passion. Why'd you take the passion part out? Because I've been on the record that I did no homework in high school. I don't believe in work if you fucking hate it. I'm actually the most extreme example of all in when you love it and fuck that shit if you hate it. I just told you about the sign thing. I don't think you should work at all if you hate it. I don't know how you're gonna live, but like, you know, like fuck. So no, I don't, thank you for asking that question, because it's giving me a few minutes to really break this down. I think people continue to not hear me and others on this. Working a lot is only cool if if it starts with you fucking love it, comma, yes. Do I think if you do 100 push-ups that would be better for your physique than 30? I believe in that. Volume, quantity is not debatable. So if I versus me, my twin brother who is exactly me, Barry, if I work 12 and he works 7 and we were the same, yes, I would get more outcome. It's the way it is. Sorry. But all these people that work 10, 12 hours a day to be an entrepreneur, to act cool, all to just make money so that they can go ball out and are living lives where they're fucking drinking a bottle of vodka at night to deal with their pain, that's not happy. That's not good. That doesn't work out. And so no, that's how I don't think it requires hours. I think it requires self-awareness, right? You have to know yourself. Some people don't even have the natural energy to work that much. Like, that's fucking hard. But I think the energy comes from loving it. Right? Like, I can't run on a treadmill for 20 minutes. This is real now. I really can't. Like, fast, right? But I can play 4 hours of basketball straight, which is actually harder on my 48-year-old body. Because I love it, I go. And because I think running on a treadmill is the worst shit of all time, I can't. This thing is so underrated, bro. This thing is so fucking, this thing is so underrated. And the other one, because now I'm rolling, this thing. I believe when we're dead and we're looking down from heaven, that intuition, the second brain, will be much more understood. No one's talking about it. I can tell you right now, this has made all the good decisions. This has kept it from being delirious. But this has been everything. And no one's, and that's above my pay grade, but I'm telling you, this fucking thing and this fucking thing, both of them, right now by us humans, and we're getting cool now, like ice plunge, fucking psychedelics, grounding. Like, we're starting to figure, like, we're starting to become more, you know, old school. Like, everything that's hot right now amongst influencers, my great grandma Babushka Anya made me do. When I was 6 and she would visit us in Edison, she'd like wake us up in the morning dew, this is real talk, and make us go outside and walk barefoot. I'm like, what are we doing? We're supposed to be Americanized. This is so weird. Yeah. And now the coolest kids in LA are like, give me the grass. And I was like, fucking babushka Anya. Yeah. You know, so old school's becoming new now, but I promise you the thing that no one's talking about yet, for real, that I think is gonna be common talk in 50 to 100 years is this motherfucker.
The intuition, the gut.
And everybody we went over rational the last 100 years. Yeah.